Okay, this is your last homework review, so make sure you're getting it completely corrected and go back and complete 1 through 7 or any of the other homeworks that you need to do so you can increase your grade to a 70. Remember, these will average out to a test grade. All right, on number 1, it says 60 students out of 300, so instead of 50, that is 300. And that would be 60 students out of 300. But this is only 10 when it comes to the pizza. So that's 1/5, which is equal to 20%. So this one is valid because 60 is 20% of 300. This one is valid, so invalid is correct. This one is valid, so invalid is correct. And these have nothing to do with this piece being 60. 120% of 50 is 60. Yes, that's not valid. Number 2, it is talking about 1.25%. Now, if you just change this 1/4 to a decimal, that hasn't changed it from a percent. So if you put 1.25, that is still a percent. You have to move twice, run away from your percent sign, and that creates your decimal. So that's 0.012. This is 0.001, so that is smaller. Okay, if I have a bunch of tickets, the first thing he's doing is keeping 9 out. So I would take my tickets and I would subtract my 9. Whatever answer I get for that is then divided between his 6 friends. Do not choose C because first he's dividing it between his friends and then subtracting 9 tickets on C, and that is not correct. Okay, the spinner, spinning a spinner with 5 outcomes, and you're wanting to land on the 5, so there's only one 5. So a spinner with 5 different sections, and only one of them is going to be a 5. That's 1/5. And then of coin, heads and tails, there's only 2 sides, so that is 1/2 chance of getting the heads. So multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1, 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, so this is all about volume. So when it's about volume, first you got to get rid of this dotted line on the outside, because outside these are surface area. That's a surface area, meaning the outside area. These are about volume, so you're looking for the dotted line on the inside. And it says right here, squared, 12 squared would be a 12 by 12, meaning area of the base. This is a 14 by 14, so that would be 14 squared times 12, the height. So it is backwards. All right, so this, they want 180 miles. So where the M is, you're putting 180, and it will look like this. You first divide 180 divided by 25, and you get 7.2, and then you multiply it by 3.5. So that's 72 times 35, and don't forget to move your decimal over twice at the end, and you get $25.20. Number 7. Okay, it's putting the conversion. It says 1 inch is equal to that many centimeters. So set up a proportion, inches to centimeters, and you get this piece, inches over centimeters. Now, Abdul is 5 foot tall, so you can't use feet because this is the inches section. So you have to multiply it by 12 first, and that would be 1. So you're looking for the centimeters. Cross multiply and solve. In other words, it's just multiplying these together when you cross multiply and solve it. So that's why you have those all multiplied together. Okay, so one way to solve this is to split it down the middle and set up your proportions. And your proportion is right there. So you're trying to see if this is correct. So what I did is I did 4 over 6 right here, and 82 over x to see if that comes out to 120. You could cross multiply and solve it, and it does not come out to 120. Another way to do this is you find your unit rate, so 82 seconds in 4 laps, and that comes out to 20.5 seconds per lap. Now that's 1 lap. So you take that number and you multiply it by 6, multiply it by 10, and see if it gets you one of those answers. The next one, you're trying to put them in order from least to greatest. Now, when it's least, what I want you to do first is circle off the negatives. And between least, this one I owe more money than this, so that negative 1/2 has to be first, and that negative 5.58 has to be second because it's closer to the 0 mark. So that means these two have to be first, and it's the only one that works. Okay, the spinner, it tells you there's 12, and it says there's 5 that are shaded. So what's the probability of landing on both spins? So that means 2, meaning 2 fractions, 5/12 and 5/12, because this is the first spin, this is the second spin. Multiply straight across, and you have your answer. You cannot simplify it, so you are done.